very kind of you. It's a pretty big crowd. Well, what shall we talk about? Star Trek 5. Well, what do you want to know about it? Everything. If I knew everything, I would tell you, but I don't know anything. Well, I can't tell you the story, right? I mean, that would be silly. That would be like telling somebody that a surprise party was happening. So I can't tell you the story. I mean, you'll go along with that. So then, what else can I tell you? I can tell you the opening shot. How about the opening shot? And then I'll tell you some of my problems that are really, I mean, it's overwhelming. Yeah, I mean, hey, you think that's no problem wrong. The opening shot. You ready for the opening shot? Yeah! Sunset. Darkening sun. Rider coming out of the sun in the dust. His robes whip behind him like wings. His horse is not going on horse. And as he rides by the camera, we pan down and we see a skull. That's as far as I know. But actually, you will look back on this moment and you will say, he told us the truth. That is the opening shot. But I can't tell you what happens after. But you are the only ones to know that, and don't tell anybody. Especially George Lucas. Well, you know what? The way this works for me best, if I could reconstruct that sentence, I would, is to point out people in the audience who raise their hands and have a question. And we go like that for a while, and then I look at my watch and I say, oh my gosh, and then I leave. And that will be the end of it. So, while we're here together, I would love to communicate as much as possible and hear from you, and then you'll hear from me. But mostly you'll hear from me, I guess. So, somebody, there's the first one in the white.
Why you wanted to direct Star Trek?
And would I tell you why I want to direct Star Trek?
I don't know the nature. You don't have to direct.
I don't have to direct. Why do I want to direct? Okay, fair enough. It's an awesome responsibility. Why would somebody want to take on the responsibility of spending $30 million? $30 million. And they say, here. They don't say here, they say, here. Here. Maybe you'd like to make a movie. They're not too sure, see. But, so, I say, $30 million, my gosh. And then I say, like one night, I was lying down someplace. And I said, I've got it! I've got an idea. And then I said to Paramount, I've got an idea. And they said, oh. Uh-oh, he's got an idea. See, because this was a contractual thing. I mean, I had it in the bag last year, last movie. So I said, I have an idea. I said, wouldn't it be, first of all, before I tell you my idea, wouldn't it be great, I said, to start this thing going now? Because this was like the closing party of Star Trek 4, which is pretty soon, actually, to say, I've got an idea. They say, well, wait a minute, let's enjoy this moment of Star Trek 4. I said, no, I got an idea for Star Trek 5. And And they said, well, okay, if you want to start right away, I mean, we're going to make Star Trek 5 because Star Trek 4 is so good. We'll do it. We'll start right away. 6 months later, I was still looking for an author. I had an author in mind about it. And so I went through a whole lot of travail to get somebody to write. Finally, we found a great young man. But it was after a year. His name is David Lowery, and he is wonderful. And he's like a bright light at Paramount. I mean, he's under contract now. And so I found a writer, and we began to work. And then Harv Bennett. I said, Harv, you've got to do Star Trek 5. I mean, he says, no, I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to do something else. I said, Harv, you can't. And I told him I'm doing it. So I had Harv, and I had this writer. Now we began to sit around the table and laugh. And we began to play the game, what if? What if Spock, you know? And when if Kirk did what if? That's a great game to play, what if? So we played what if for a year. Then we began to say, what if Paramount doesn't like this? You know, that's another what ifs. So up until now, up until this week, actually, I've been playing what if because it's been a fairy tale. Like we kept saying, well, we don't have to solve that problem. We got a year. Suddenly there's no more year. Suddenly they're saying, where are you spending my $30 million? And what are the opticals and what special effects and what are they dressed like? And what do they say? And what do they do? And where do they go? What's it look like? They're asking me these questions. And I'm supposed to have an answer. It's awesome. I mean, because it isn't like, you know, a terror movie in the Hilton Hotel where somebody tries to stab you as you go to your room. You know those stories. And don't worry about that tonight, by the way. Because you know what the Hilton Hotel looks like. I mean, here's a chandelier, you shoot a chandelier, you shoot down here or something like that. But in a science fiction movie, what's the room look like? Well, how are the people dressed? How do the doors open? I mean, everything has to be thought of. I mean, the nightmare for me right now is, what if I haven't said how the doors open? And the doors don't open on the day when we go to shoot. And I say, why don't the doors open? And they said, because you didn't tell us. You know, it's crazy things like that. But it's the fun. I am in such an ecstatic state right now doing this stuff that actually I would have paid them, but they don't know that. Okay, next question. Way back there, you with the glasses. Nice and loudly because I've got tinnitus. I don't know, my hearing's going, everything's gone. I'm striving to stand up straight. Nice and loud.
Why did you quit DJ Hooker?
That's the wrong question. You've got glasses, sir, but it was this guy right here. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll hold that one in abeyance. You know what abeyance is? Yeah. Okay. And you ask your question first. Are they going to be making Star Trek 6 and 7? Will I be directing Star Trek 6 and 7? I feel like there's a 30-story building on my head directing Star Trek 5, and he's asking me about 6 or 7. But, well, obviously I don't know, but I'll tell you, I'm having so much fun at this, that if this continues this way, I'd be delighted if they asked me. Of course, the final test is how Star Trek 5 comes out. And why did I quit T.J. Hooker? Well, this studio executive round me off, pissed me off or something. So I said I quit. And then the network guy came up to me and he said, please stay. And I said, no, I quit. Because even though our ratings are good, I quit. I don't want all that money. Look, the network people said, 5 years, that's 4.5 years, that's enough, out. And no matter how I begged, I got on my knees. I wormed my way through the door. I said, please, whoever it was, I don't remember. They all seem to change. No, they just, things come and go. That's the way it is. Except Star Trek. It just seems to go on, doesn't it? Sweetheart, you're a lovely girl, but your ears, what happened?
Two things.
Two things. Yes, 2 ears.
Well, I still want to know if I can be in Star Trek 5.
You want to know if you should be in Star Trek 5? Or if you could be? No. A straightforward answer. That's what you need. That's what you kids of today need. Straight from the shoulder. And what?
Again, I said.
And you said that? Both hands? I can't do it with one. Look, she's got both hands separating in the middle.
Also, I just want to say hi again.
You want to say hi again?
Right.
Okay.
Remember the convention in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania?
Do I remember the convention in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania?
That's
You're the girl with the ears. And there's a picture of us. Great. I bet you don't have a question, huh? Let me ask you a question. How do you do that? I don't know. Next question. Yes.
Do you still fly ultralights?
Do I still fly ultralights? Yes, I haven't in some time. I wish my voice wouldn't do that. I like to project such a masculine image. Do I still fly ultralights? I started flying a long time ago. In fact, I was doing a play in Miami. In Palm Beach. And there's an airport in West Palm Beach. And while I was playing at night during the day, I learned to fly. And then when I came to Los Angeles after the play, I continued flying, and I got all kinds of licenses. And they require you to do a cross country, which is usually a triangle, usually 3 triangle, different. And you do 3 of those, and you get your license if you solo that way. And they said cross country, so in my usual grandiose way, I said, okay, I'll do a cross country. And I went from Los Angeles to Miami and back in a light airplane. And then I took up soaring and got a soaring license. And then one day, a program said, how would you like to do aerobatics and go and learn to do aerobatics? So then I learned aerobatics with spins and cubinates and leaps and stuff like that. And then I found an ultralight. And that's the best of all, because you can soar or your engine can go. And one day, what I'd like to do is take a cross-country trip in an ultralight. One of my hopes is that I go across the United States in an ultralight. Because you can go like about, the landing speed is 27 miles an hour over the fence. And you can go about 50 miles an hour in the air. But if there's any kind of breeze blowing, you can fly backwards. So I guess I'll just turn around and go backwards across the United States. Anyway, yes. No, sorry, you had your question. Didn't you ask the question? Oh, I wondered why you look familiar. Well, why don't you stand up and tell me your question?
Kind of first, were you or are you going to ever appear on the New Generation?
Am I ever going to appear on the New Generation? Well, how would they work that? You know. I mean, 100 years later, I don't know. No, I won't. How's that? There's an answer. I won't. You in your little red uniform. Why don't you stand up and show us your uniform? Oh, you're cute. And you got a red shawl. Did you make that? Look at that. That's terrific. Did you win a prize on that? Have you had a prize on that? Has there been any prizes given out for that? Nothing. You want to know if you can have a picture with me? There's 2 little kids advancing on me. Are they dangerous? You'd like to give me a triple? What am I going to do with it? A doggone triple. I was up to my